my little lovelies, I hope I find you all well again, and as usual feeling tickety-boo. And I hope you've all managed to stay safe through all this nasty weather we've been having. There's been a lot of damage done by it. I hope this finds you all tickety-boo. Now, we've got 3 videos for you today. The first one is all about that nasty coronavirus. Now you might be wondering, why is there a video on here about coronavirus? Well, you'll just have to watch it and find out. The second one is about an entity that has been captured in a photograph, quite spooky. And the third one is all about a time slip, an RAF officer who believes he'd been involved in a time slip. Now, those 3 should keep you busy for a little while. So, let's crack on, shall we? The coronavirus epidemic has killed more than 560 people and infected around 28,000 globally, including 3 infections in the UK to date. But did the famed prophet Nostradamus predict the coronavirus epidemic when he warned of a great plague nearly 500 years ago? Coronavirus is spreading throughout China and globally at an alarming rate, surpassing the 2002 to 2003 SARS pandemic. Coronavirus, which can jump between humans and animals, was first detected in Wuhan City, Haibu province last year. But the infection has now spread to nearly 30 countries outside of China, including the UK, fueling fears for humanity's safety. The World Health Organization has dubbed the outbreak a global emergency, but has not yet called it a pandemic. Some people are claiming that the 15th century writer and supposed mystic Nostradamus predicted the outbreak of a great plague in the future. Twitter user Marco Malacara said, "The Antichrist leading the White House, locusts, floods, flies, coronavirus. I think this is what Nostradamus was telling us nearly 500 years ago." Another person tweeted in Spanish, which translates, "The plague of the 21st century has arrived. A Nostradamus prophecy. We will all die very soon." Online conspiracy theorists have now suggested that Nostradamus predicted the epidemic in the 15th century. Nostradamus' followers consider the man to be a powerful prophet who predicted the Great Fire of London in 1666 and the rise of Adolf Hitler in 1933. When Lavina Hermia moved into her home in Point Vernon in the middle of 2009, she knew immediately something wasn't right. Despite her feelings, she decided to stay in the house, and that is now a decision she has come to regret. Lavina and her sons Chase 4 and Jacob 17 claim they have been experiencing paranormal activity in their home for months. It started with Chase telling her about a man he called Santa, who sometimes came to play with him. After observing her son's behaviour and listening to her son speak about his newfound friend, Lavinia soon believed that Santa wasn't a pleasant entity to have around, nor did he seem to be just another imaginary friend. Lavinia said right side of the house seemed to be the site of the paranormal activity. Worst affected areas included the kitchen, bathroom and hallway, Jacob's bedroom and Lavinia's bedroom. Lavinia didn't know what to believe until early one morning she said the supernatural being paid her a visit in her own bedroom. She was standing near the door when she felt something like a strong breeze pushing her back and she was unable to move. She felt something touch her while she was standing there. The next thing she knew, she was lying on her bed, totally paralysed. She could see and hear, but unable to move a single part of her body except for her eyes. Lavina tried to speak to the entity to tell it to leave, but that was difficult because she could barely move her lips to speak. It was then that she saw something like a flash of light. She was able to move again and ran out of the bedroom into the hall, calling for her sons to help. Jacob was always a bit skeptical about what might be going on in the house, but that has changed since the family called in a psychic medium. The psychic medium told the family that there was a porthole in Jacob's room, releasing spirits into the home. She suggested to the family that if Chase was talking about seeing Santa, they get out a camera and start taking shots of the areas around him to see if they could capture the image of the spirit. Recently, when Lavinia was at Zumba, Jacob and his friends were looking after Chase when he started playing hide and seek with the entity. They started taking photos around the home with a phone and captured a photo of what appeared to be a man hovering above Jacob as he lay on his bed in his room. After that, Jacob began to believe that the home really might have supernatural visitors. After her initial feeling that the house was not a good place, Lavina started saving up so the her and her family could leave. But several different incidents over the years have conspired to keep her and her family in the home. It feels like something is trying to keep me here, she said. Lavina has done a bit of research on the history of the area and knows that South Sea Islanders were brought to what was known as Port Vernon in the 1800s, and they were often treated very badly and cruelly. She is also aware that Polson Cemetery is nearby, although she has no idea if these factors have played a role in the strange occurrences in her home. Lavinia is hoping to get a Catholic priest to come to her home, blessing each room with holy water to get rid of the unwanted entities. Senior Royal Air Force Commander Sir Robert Victor Goddard claimed to have experienced a time slip. In 1935, Goddard flew over what had been RAF Station Drem in Scotland, on his way from Edinburgh to Andover in England. The Drem station was no longer in use. After demobilisation efforts following the First World War, it had been mostly left to rot, and indeed that's what Goddard saw as he flew over it. A legendary abandoned airfield. On his return trip though, things got weird. He followed the same route he had on the way there, but during the flight he got waylaid by a storm. As he struggled to regain control of his plane, however, he spotted the Drem airfield through a break in the clouds, and when he got closer to it, the bad weather suddenly disappeared. But the airfield wasn't abandoned at this time. It was busy, with several planes on the runway and mechanics running about. Within seconds though, the storm reappeared, and Goddard had to fight to keep his plane in the air. He made it home okay though, and went on to live another 50 years. But the incident stuck with him. Indeed, in 1975, he wrote a book called Flight Towards Reality, which included discussion of the whole thing. But here's the real weird bit. In 1939, the Drem airfield was brought back to life. Did Goddard see a peek into the airfield's future via a time slip back in 1935? Who knows? You decide, folks. Oh, welcome back, my little lovelies. I didn't see you there. Just checking my phone, Facebook. Seeing what Johnny's up to. Seeing if he's been a good boy like me, because I'm always a good boy. Now, I hope you enjoyed them. As usual, let us know what you think about them. Keep it nice, keep it clean, keep it tickety-boo. Now, whilst we're on the subject of tickety-boo, I've had quite a few emails and inquiries from people outside of the UK who have never heard of tickety-boo and wondering what it means. Well, it means basically, simply, that everything is fine, everything is good, everything is alright. So, now you know, and thanks for asking. Right, that's all from me until the next episode. Take care, stay safe, stay tickety-boo. Ta-ta, my little lovelies. Ta-ta!